Here's the one thing that you need to fix your scrolling addiction. Hopefully, this video doesn't turn out like one of those weight loss videos of some old white lady advertising apple cider vinegar, but here we go. So, what's the one thing that you need to stop scrolling? That thing is awareness. And how do we get awareness? Through meditation. And meditation is the one thing that you need to stop scrolling. Because I was like you when I was in middle school, high school, especially when short form content first came out. I was the guy scrolling for 8 hours a day, nonstop. When I woke up on my way to school, during break times, even, and after I got home from school, the whole day was just scrolling. And honestly, even though it was consuming content that I supposedly cared about, I didn't actually want to do that. And it stopped me from doing a lot of things in my life. So I'm here to show you how to stop scrolling. So, what is awareness? Awareness is sort of the ability for us to recognize what we are doing at a certain point in time, to recognize what we are thinking. So, how does this stop scrolling? Awareness is sort of the key thing that we need to stop scrolling because when people say I can't stop scrolling, it's not that they can't, it's that they don't recognize they're scrolling in the first place. And when you can't even recognize that you're falling into a pattern of behavior you don't want, you don't have the ability to stop it. Therein lies the problem. So what we need to do is to increase your level of awareness to a point where every time you pick up the phone and if you open Reels, open TikTok and YouTube Shorts, you're able to recognize that you are scrolling. And thus, when you recognize you're scrolling in the moment, you're able to say, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to scroll anymore. And it's at that point where you can turn the apps off and put your phone down. Okay, that's all well and good. But how do we cultivate awareness per se? The main way that I have cultivated awareness, how most people do, is through meditation. And you don't need to be a Buddhist monk with a shaved head and red robes to achieve this. In fact, I wasn't. I'm still not. So, what you need to do to cultivate awareness is essentially to practice it, right? So if you want to get better at something, say shooting a basketball, you shoot basketballs a lot. You repeat the task until you're at a point where you're able to do so consistently. And it's the same thing as being aware. So when you try to be aware, you control your attention and place it onto yourself to recognize what you are doing, what you're thinking of in the moment. So what meditation is a form of practice, a form of training that serves to help us build awareness. So here's how to meditate. All you have to do is find somewhere quiet. You can sit down, lie down, find somewhere quiet, not distracting. And all you do is focus on your breath. This is the easiest, most basic form of meditation. All you have to do is, as you take deep breaths in and out, place your attention on those breaths, feeling the air go in and go out. Keeping your attention on your breath is the most fundamental part of meditation. And at this point, you might ask, so that's all I have to do? Yes. And all you have to do is do that repeatedly from anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes a day. And at this point, you might try it and realize that it's so much harder than you thought. Because many of my friends came back to me saying, well, I just started thinking of things. And in some ways, that is the whole point. You start thinking of things because it is natural for the brain to start thinking of things. A thought of your crush might pop up into your head, what you want to eat for dinner, what you're going to do on Friday night, who you're going to hang out with. These are all random thoughts that can pop into your mind at any second. And it's like, well, where did they come from? Well, they just popped into my head and there's not really much I can do about it, except I can bring my attention back to the present, back to the breath I'm taking. And it's this process of detaching from whatever thought you're having instead of going on a tangent thinking, oh, what do I eat for dinner? Maybe burgers are good or pasta or something else. And going down this rabbit hole. Instead, choosing not to and pulling your attention back to the present, back to where your breath is, back to the present moment. And it's just repeatedly bringing your attention back is what creates awareness. Because for you to recognize you're having a thought, you have to be aware. And once you recognize that you have the thought, you're aware you're having a thought, you are then able to bring your thoughts back to the present. And in some ways, this is very similar to how you're going to quit your scrolling addiction. Because once you've practiced the skill enough, the skill of being aware through meditation, once you practice enough, when you open your phone and you open up TikTok or Instagram and you see that the reels are there and you're scrolling through them, you're then able to, because of your heightened awareness, be like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be scrolling right now. And once you recognize you're scrolling, that's when you're able to click out of the page and turn your phone off. So the one thing that you need to do, stop scrolling, is to develop the habit of meditation. Through meditation, you're able to cultivate awareness in such a way that when you are exposed to the stimulus of scrolling, you're able to be aware and act in spite of the influence of the reels, basically injecting information into you as you scroll. It's just like having random thoughts. When you are able to condition yourself into realizing that, hey, I'm scrolling right now and I don't want to be, that is when you regain control of yourself. If you like this video, found it helpful, I would really like it if you shared it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.